Oops.
The atmosphere is fucking tense.
Hence,
To be fair, this is our most controversial one for a long time.
oh,
Since about 2 weeks ago with RRR.
that.
I was gonna say this one didn't glorify a Nazi in it.
Yeah, I mean that's definite plus. I mean, oh, you
What?
cut out there, Emmanuel.
We didn't know that at the time.
Did you?
No, we didn't know that. At the
Oh, I thought you said you didn't know that at the time, as if to say I did, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, Rob.
It's not too late to change your score.
I'll leave it.
So, who was the Nazi?
So one of the guys at the end that they're like idolizing, I'm not sure which one it is, to be
Was
honest.
he called the Monkey King?
It's like it's one of the guys that they've got like a massive sort of like headshot of that they're sort of like dancing towards and going like, "What a great guy," or whatever they're saying. It turned out that in the Second World War, he sided with Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan.
Oh, so he was a nice man.
Up until after he helped folks out and then decided, you know what, I'm going to become even more extremist.
Yeah, I'm glad I've helped you all, but I've got this thing to tell you about how I feel about Jews. It's like, whoa.
That even come from? It's just like, no one who is feeling that way in your country. Like, they have nothing to do with you. Like, if anything, I would not be surprised if you were against anyone who looked even similar to like the British, but they're not against all people who look similar to the British. That he's just he became a Nazi. I don't. Or
it does kind of read like he just sort of like threw a dart at a map. And he was like, you know what, I'm done with fighting the British, and now I just need a new enemy. I'll join Hitler. Like it's like, yeah.
yeah.
But I'm even more surprised that happened, and then a film 60 years, no, actually 80 years later came along and went, "That's the guy we need to. That's the guy we need to celebrate at the end."
Yeah, it doesn't quite make sense. Since you've been gone.
Oh, that's a song I didn't expect to hear tonight.
Wow. Is that the Rainbow song?
The Rainbow song.
Yeah. No,
What's
Rainbow.
Rainbow?
Or are you thinking Kelly Clarkson? Is it Kelly Clarkson?
I
Oh,
think it's Kelly Clarkson.
Who hate the song, by the way?
If you sang the Rainbow song, I would have been very impressed.
I'm singing the original song. Is that the Rainbow one?
Yeah, the original one.
There you go.
Good man. You've
I didn't know Kelly Clarkson made. Actually, did she?
I'm sure she did a song that had that lyric in it.
Okay, yeah, it is. Camilla would say, I just don't remember it existing. It's a complete song. Okay. Cool. Oh, now I know what song. Yeah.
It's sad.
That was not in my head.
Good.
That's a fucking banger.
Oh, you're full of controversy tonight.
Oh god. oh god, I'm gonna be raging. I'm raging.
I need to speak up for the porn addicts of the world.
At least
Rise up, brothers.
taste. Or at least
Hmm?
decent. At least I think I have some good music taste.
Oh yeah, I've never claimed that.
But yeah, I think we had a conversation about something similar before.
Oh, that reminds me actually. You know when we was at uni and we had that moment because of Margaret Thatcher.
What?
Oh, you got to explain this again. Then.
So basically, what happened is I can't remember what led us up to it, but I was probably moaning about her or something. And then Alex said, I don't understand what Margaret Thatcher did that was so bad or something like that." And I was like, "You don't understand what Margaret Thatcher did?" And he was like, "No, literally, I have no idea what she is."
Oh.
But yeah, I had another moment like it because I saw like a
The way you
snip
just
from a-
deflated there, the way you just kind of went, what? Oh, okay. That's exactly what he did. That's what everybody does when they hear that.
Yeah, I saw like a snippet from an interview with Nicola Sturgeon where she said that Margaret Thatcher inspired her to go into politics, and I was like, "What?" And then I read more into it, and it was like because I wanted to be everything that she wasn't, and I was like, "Oh, thank
Fucking hell.
That I get that.
God."
Like, I want to stop people. I want to be there so people like you aren't there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and reverse the damage you've done. That's good. If only that was Theresa May.
Well, a lot of people really.
Why are we talking about politics? Why do
It's
you
again.
do this?
I don't know. I was talking about music. I don't understand how it got.
Why did you bring Margaret Thatcher into this?
I
I
was
think
singing.
it was.
You monster.
I think it was because Alex said that he never claimed to have a good taste in music, and then that just it went down a path in my mind where I was like, "Oh yeah, this happened."
You also never claimed to know anything about Margaret Thatcher. That's a story.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Speaking of things you don't claim to know about.
Sorry, that just reminded me of Pat's fight on Twitter yesterday. Where he was Pat had a fight on Twitter yesterday because he wanted to own the transphobes. And and he was going like, "Oh yeah, the biology. If you look into like the biology of this, then like yeah, this and this and this, that's the case." And people are going like, the people will like questioning, and Pat's going like, "Look, I don't claim to know the science," but then he kept citing science. He kept going to people like, "Look, mate, fucking look it up." When he had no plan to, had himself. Oh, really made me laugh. Still the comments of people going like, "This guy's a fucking idiot."
Pat on the internet. It's funny.
There's a takeaway around here that does roast dinners, and their name is Roastman Pat.
Nice. Nice.
There's another one that I was tempted to try today just because I like their name, and it's just Punjabi lad. And so it was like an Indian takeaway, but because it was called Punjabi lad, I just had this image of like a guy running it from his kitchen, and I was like, yeah, I'll support that guy.
As long as he has a good hygiene rating score.
Yeah, Rob.
That's exactly what I said.
So round where my nan's house.
It
Hey guys.
I'm sure there's like I think it's African food, but it's from their kitchen, and you can see in their kitchen, and dang got hygiene, right? You look in, you're like, oh, they're like sitting around falling asleep in the kitchen. It's like, oh.
Do you know what? When I worked at Greencool, there was a guy who used to work at Domino's, and he told me something that like it's not even that bad, but it really put me off ordering pizza for a while because he said that something that he used to see in the kitchen quite often was when somebody was like making a pizza, they used to take like a ladle or whatever out of the sink. So it's in the sink with everything else that needs to be washed, and they just used to take it out of the sink and just use it without even rinsing it. And I was like, oh,
Oh man.
Please.
All
No.
right. Like we made our own pizza. That was very nice, by the way. Pizza Express do some really good dough ready.
oh, we did that. Did you get the one that you roll out yourself?
Yeah,
We did that. Yeah.
I say roll out. It's in the box, but you just roll it out on its own baking sheet.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rectangle square
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. The only thing that we had, I don't know if it was the same for you, but like we split it in two so that we could have like a half-sized one each. But every time I was trying to move it, it was just stretching and stretching. So I ended up with like a super, super thin base.
That's fuck.
We had 2 boxes and had one to ourselves each,
Oh, nice.
which is nice. So we ate like it in 2 goes, and we brought it to lunch the next day. It was great lunch.
Yeah, I'd definitely get that again. That was really nice.
Yeah.
You see what your lateness has done, Ben?
What's that?
We're now talking about fucking pizza.
Where's the pizza?
Before we were talking about Thatcher, and before that we
No.
were talking about Kelly Clarkson.
And it's all on you, young man.
There's been ups and downs all this evening, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And somehow Kelly Clarkson was enough.
Yeah.
What?
Compared to Thatcher.
No way.
Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm somebody, yeah. Next to you, I get what I want. Since
No.
you've been gone. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know the guitar bit. Anyway.
But guys, see you later.
Thanks, everybody. It's been fun.
Fuck this.
Been fine.
Said he's gonna be late, isn't it? I said he's gonna be late, isn't it?
Oh,
I think you keep cutting out a lot of the crucial bit.
I assume this is it. If someone's not too
Gonna
busy.
be late. Isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, either way, Pat is not joining us. Simon,
What do
I
you
don't
say?
know.
Well,
Simon's fine,
technically,
right?
I'm here already.
Yeah, oh, Simon is just is lurking. Okay.
I'm like
Tell him.
working very much. Oh, yeah, I'm just working. So I'm like,
Because
Keep-
my father.
keeping and creeping, let's say. So just like, so yeah, I'm here. I'm just like, I was just listening to everyone sing Kelly Clarkson for a good like 5 minutes. So I was confused myself. So I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm in the right chat. But no, yeah, I'm in the right chat. So yeah, I'll just go be on mute because I've still got a lot of work to do. I'll talk to you guys in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Good luck, Simon.
Best of luck.
Godspeed. Oh no.
Sounded
So
like an angry Mrs. One.
No more Kelly Clarkson, everybody.
yeah, that ruined Simon.
No. We need cream.
Well, someone needs cream for the cakes, certainly.
I was just thinking of the song. But anyway,
Yeah, Cream is a great band. Yes.
yes. Alec, why did you pick this film?
Fucking finally. So I waited, like, I can't do this.
Was it Payback?
No, I thought it was quite, I think it's quite a nice little film. As opposed to the awfulness that you picked.
I could tell. But I was talking now. Ready?
That's all right. Your mic's doing that thing where if someone makes noise, you just go silent. So I didn't hear any of that.
Oh, man.
Anyway, yeah. I think it's a nice little film. Obviously, I didn't expect people to get on with it that much, but maybe not to this degree. Like, Yeah, I don't.
Good,
I don't know what to say. It's like it's a film about a douchebag. Um, who yeah, he's kind of a product of the environment, and yeah, he like gets better and stops being a fucking douchebag. Um, I obviously we'll go into it, but yeah, the way he develops, I think is really it's really nice. I think it's really believable. Um, I think it's got like important things to say about relationships and identity and like I don't know, just gender, sex, obviously, porn, obviously, addiction. Like, I think there's a lot of layers to this one. So, but yeah, I can see why it wouldn't be everyone's cup of tea. I mentioned it at work, and they were like, "Oh, which one's Don John?" And I was like, "It's the one about the porn addict." And they went, "That's fine. I'm not going to watch that." And I went, "Fair enough. Not everybody's cup of tea." But I think if you get past that, yeah, there's a nice, thoughtful little character arc in there. But obviously that wasn't Monkey King enough for everybody. So
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like I'm surprised that people have hated it so much. Like I didn't expect it to be everyone's thing, but I kind of just expected the general reaction to just be like, yeah, it was fine, and then sort of like that to be the end of it. But yeah, like I was looking at some reviews on Letterboxd and stuff, and like yeah, all the usual places, and I think it all seems to be in line with Pat's issues with it. So like we were talking in the week about how Pat really hates this, and I think the reason that he hates it is because he feels that it's quite misogynistic and that it doesn't really recover from it. And that seems to be like the general take is that everyone says like, "Oh, this film is so misogynistic, and he's such a misogynist." And it's like, yeah, he is to begin with, but the whole point is that he gets over it, right? Well, not gets over it, but like he sort of
sees the error of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. It seems like it keeps being read up to that point, and then the bit that is the point of the film keeps getting pushed aside. Like, and I'm not sure why. Really.
Yeah, I don't. What the fuck is this?
You're just overcome by the emotions.
I just
of Don John scoring 6 points.
If only it had been a 6.9, I'd have been like, you know what?
Yeah, that would have been perfect. Let me lower the score then.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know where that read kind of comes from, really, because like I think if you like pay attention to what's being said and like the performance and the camera angles, like when his dad is like telling the story of how he met his mum, and she's like so excited for him to say like a certain bit, and like the camera kind of zooms in on him, and he goes like, "I saw her, and I said, that's mine," and it just focuses on him, and you're just like, and then you just hear Scarlett Johansson go, "Oh God, they're so romantic," and I was just like, "Oh!" But like the film, I feel like the point that the point of lingering on the dad's face there is, I think, like the film going, "This guy is like, we need to do something about this guy. He's fucking horrible. Like, this is absolutely hideous." And yeah, but this is something else that I quite like about the film, where you're having like you're having all the adverts sort of interspersed.
Mm.
And it's like, why are you? It's so funny that porn's like demonized in the way that it is when you look at all these adverts and every music video where you got some a bunch of girls on the beach twerking. You got some lady in a bikini eating a fucking chicken sandwich. Like the weather girl's wearing a dress like the size of like no, just like not enough to cover like anything really. Like the amount of advertising and stuff that's present in our culture, where it's like sexualized to such a degree to make you fucking watch it, and then someone goes one step further and gets fucking addicted to porn because how are you supposed? And it's just like, oh, dirty, and it's like, man, there's like so much of this.
Mm.
Mm.
Like, there's just such a, I don't know, there's just such a big like hypocrisy to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
very. I just thought it could have been done better. I thought if you take the initial premise, it's like, oh, that could be something in the thought piece. But the way it's actually done and carried out, it's just like,
This doesn't sound like it's quite comparable to The Skin I Live In. I'm just gonna that
Oh,
criticism just on its face. That doesn't seem like it's in the same ballpark at all.
so
Actually,
much better. Messed up, but so much better in the way it was done. You can have a hard topic, but if you do it well, it can still be a good film.
why is it not done well?
It's just like so in your face. I was getting sick and tired of seeing those parts where I'm skipping ahead 10 seconds because I'm just tired of sitting through this scene where he keeps talking about this, keep showing the random scenes, and I was like, and there's just lots of things that felt unneeded. It's like we already know. You don't have to we're all out here. You don't bar us with this. We get the freaking point. You could have done so many that I was thinking of different ways it could have done it. And like even more artful ways, or ways like in situations where you just keep hearing the dum 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 and it keeps going and you get this kind of repetition kind of going and all sorts of cool cut scenes. Obviously wasn't going for that. But instead it's just this like I mean imagine if it was done in a way more similar to Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you were talking about the repetition.
Much
Actually,
more brutal way.
I don't follow Anne.
Okay,
it's not an anime.
Oh, sorry, as a man, I just assumed.
Requiem for a Dream. Have you seen it? Okay, she hasn't seen it. That's probably you don't. I wouldn't recommend it.
Maybe a good thing.
Do you remember her name this week?
I'm not.
Don't answer him.
I'm not playing these games. Anyway, so Requiem for a Dream. Obviously, it's a hard film. It covers a hard subject matter of addiction in a different way as well. But it's not it. The way it handles it and the way it does it, it's really good. Even though I wouldn't want to watch it again, maybe bits and pieces, like not the horrible parts. But it's just obviously it's a different vibe film. It's a very different type of film, and I'm not saying that I want it to be Requiem for a Dream. It's just certain aspects of that and how they kind of show that kind of repetition and the kind of addiction and the nature of it that in other films have done similar things. I would prefer they did something like that or something that was a bit more artistic in the way and creative in the way that they were doing it rather than just, I guess, yes, it's realistic in a way, it's just shoving it in places, but I don't want to sit through that.
Well, funny enough, Requiem for a Dream is actually one of my picks for the 20 picks for my April Fool's choice.
Oh,
Same.
I think it's Pat's as well. I think maybe.
But
Yeah, I get what
always, Well, we'll see if we get it on later or not. Though we'll just like roll the dice. We'll see if we get something more depressing or less.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean because in Requiem for a Dream, the repetition is kind of like building, whereas the repetition in this is kind of it sort of starts at the extreme and stays there. But yeah, I do get what you mean because it's sort of, but I suppose it's a different purpose because in Requiem for a Dream, it's almost like you're sort of it's like you're supposed to experience the addiction with the characters and like the heightening of the addiction as it goes along. Whereas Don John just sort of like starts at the top of the mountain and sort of works his way across a bit until he meets Julianne Moore and then comes down the side of it.
Ask
That was a horrible way of phrasing
Comes down the side. Yes. So he did a lot of that in the film.
It kind of started at its zenith and just kind of slid on down the side.
I was gonna say, Camilla, what did you say about the kind of stereotype or archetype of girl changes, woman changes guy?
Oh, just the idea.
It's not like
Just the idea of like this trouble's misogynistic and he needs this like free-spirited broken woman to fix him is just very boring to me. And that's it.
so you're saying some other interesting stuff we can get into later.
I think this is the most personally hurt you've ever looked on a call, I think.
Because wounded.
I just
I'm wounded.
I feel like we just axe off a lot of stories that way. Like I don't know if it's like as simple as that. Like I think the whole thing is like he's so geared toward a certain like type of woman, and he obviously he sees Scarlett Johansson, and she's everything he's looking for, and it's like yeah, that makes sense. If you're only concerned with someone looking like Scarlett Johansson, yep, Scarlett Johansson's who you're gonna be really happy about. And then yeah, he kind of realizes she's more than he thinks. Like he thinks he's just gonna like wind up with a porn star because obviously that's what he's after. But she's not that. She's kind of like infatuated with this fantasy of her own of like this like the romantic comedy thing.
Yeah.
And to say like, oh yeah, no, he just gets fixed by Julianne Moore. The whole reason he goes to her is because like he can tell she's more knowledgeable about sex than like he is. Like when she says about porn, and he's like, hey, these guys aren't faking. She's like, of course they are. Like, what the fuck? And the way he just kind of reacts, like, just kind of keeps looking at her like, what do you mean that? What do you mean that? Oh my fucking God. And he's like, like, the reason that he gravitates to her after the rebound is because she's more knowledgeable about sex than he is. And like, the way that he thought he was supposed to be operating he can't make it work anymore. So he goes to her and then yeah, like her teaching him about the difference between the sex he has been having and like meaningful sex. Yeah, that I don't think it's quite as simple as, oh, my life's a misery and I need a broken woman to make me a better person.
What I would say, both things can be true at the same time, like Camilla was saying, but she does push her way into his life. Like it's not a truly incidental meeting, but also the film, and many films are, I'm not saying it's a really bad thing, but the film does use a lot of classic archetypes in its films and plays straight into them. And the only one it's kind of changing a bit is the main characters, where he actually learns something, I guess, and many characters who learn something eventually. It's again, it's again, both can be true. Like they are archetypes, they are stereotypes that happen a lot in films, but at the same time, yeah. Sorry, that wasn't worded well.
I just feel like if we're going like, character learning something, boring. Just like, oh, okay, well.
Oh, it's like the kind of difference of it again, it's the way things are done or the way things happen. The kind of archetypes that you use, you can still have the same main point happening, just happening in a different way, which makes it a bit more fresh or a bit different. What is seen a lot of time in a lot of films.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the fact that he winds up like not even in like a official relationship necessarily, because Julianne Moore's so broken. Like,
Yeah.
I think that that's kind of a reversal of what you'd usually see, because you'd usually go shallow guy pursues shallowness, gets turfed out, winds up with different lady who's not shallow, and he's happy. And it's like, yeah, that's a broad stroke, I guess, of like what happens. But the fact he chooses Julianne Moore, who's like a much older lady, who kind of looks like Skeletor in certain lighting.
Still Julianne Moore.
Nah.
That's rude.
Yeah, but she's not someone he can like bring home, like, because he can't go, this is my new girlfriend, because she's not ever going to be his new girlfriend. But what they share, what they share isn't something that he's like willing to boast about or anything either. Like it's a lot more special, and it's a lot more like intimate, and it's like stuff he's never been like exposed to, because he wound up being like just emotionally stunted.
Yeah. In the film is great. If the rest of the film was handled in a similar way, I probably would have liked it.
I'm not sure what you mean. I think I don't know if I need to see Requiem for a Dream to understand what you're talking about, but I'm not sure what went badly here.
Sorry, continue. Ben and Dan, I don't think they or Simon have said their intros. Sorry.
It's fine. It sucked. No, I'm joking. No, honestly, I was kind of like Pat originally when I first saw it. I just didn't connect to the film, but it was when it was like 10 years ago, and all I could see was, like Rob mentioned, just the Letterboxd reviews of being just misogynistic, and he's just this irredeemable douchebag that you just don't like, and you're supposed to be laughing with him, but you're actually like kind of like not so much disgusted by him, but just like you think he's the hero in the story kind of thing, and you're questioning his every choice he makes. But seeing it again now with that as being a bit more of a mature mindset and understanding more of it, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
it does have an arc, which is imperative for this film to work. If it didn't have that arc and he didn't learn from anything, then it would be just everything we'd all say. It's just it's not enjoyable, and it's just like. But I feel that that's what's fascinating with it, is that this guy kind of like he is kind of like a horrible piece of work. He's kind of him and his guys just represent toxic masculinity to a T. His friend, much like Humphrey right now.
Much like fucking rah rah Rasputin.
Yeah. But it's kind of like you don't like anyone with an ounce of like dignity and like self-respect would not relate or like those guys. But as the film goes on, you can see why they are the way they are. Like Alec mentions that his dad is just an old-fashioned asshole that's kind of stuck in his ways. Back when he was brought up, he hasn't learned anything different. His mum's just a doormat, and she's got this vision of what the ideal life is. So they've kind of, with that, even though Don John would never admit it in as a character, is that they've kind of shaped his world and outlook on how he looks at women and how he wants a relationship, how he views sex. Everything all comes down to how they view him as a son and how they want to see him as a father, and as he grows up to be a man with a family. And it's like, what is that all it amounts to? And he's kind of like, I suppose, kind of rebelled against that by just being like, being so absorbed into pornography, being obsessed with kind of like being on the pool, trying to get as many women as he can, trying to find that perfect woman. And it's not doing him any favors, and it's not working. And he's constantly just going down this rabbit hole and just digging himself a grave just because it's not working at all. And thankfully, I don't relate to that. Hopefully no one else in this chat relates to that at all. But I could understand being kind of like, well, you got this fantasy ideas of what the perfect relationship, perfect sex is like in your head, and you can never like we never find that in real life, and it's something you probably have to come to terms with. That doesn't exist. It's only in your head. So I did connect to that, and that's something like, well, something that even if you don't experience, you can understand. Like, you can understand what he's trying to go for, even though it's kind of uncomfortable to see him or do these things, and you kind of are laughing at him at points, but at the same time you're kind of cringing at the same time. But it does bring up a lot of questions in that regard, and I did like how Julianne Moore does come into the foray, even though I do feel it's kind of, she comes in at the most perfect opportune time, and if she didn't, he probably would never recover and never become the man he is at the end of the movie. But he needed someone with a bit of like life experience and a bit wiser, and a bit like she's not that she's been there, but she can see that back when I was growing up, I could see this and that, and she can sort of like console him in that way. So I did appreciate her character, because like Scarlett Johansson on the surface is fine, but the way you dig deeper, she's just as toxic as he is at first. She's the like toxic femininity at its most worst, because she looks at him and sees her ideal man, or she wants him to be the ideal man she has in her head, like she does. It's like she sees in the movies she watches, which is like how John sees in the porno he watches. He's kind of like, they've both got like their own little way of looking at, and so she's got her own idea, and he has as well, and they're both kind of.
I thought you were talking about John O'Brien, then I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, that's why I laughed as well.
They both have that sort of thing, and it's kind of like two sides of the same coin situation going on, and it's like they both hate each other for it, but at the same time, it's the same ideal, it's the same thing. They try to make someone something they're not, and try to strive and fight for this like ideal image of what they want as a partner, and it's something you can never achieve. So it was good that he did find that.
You've pointed out like so many interesting things there, because it's a sort of, there's like there's questions there of sort of like, if you're someone who like agrees with Don John like right at the beginning of this, do you like him by the end, or do you go, oh, you had Scarlett Johansson, man, fucking hell? Like, I think if you like him in the beginning, you might be a little bit douchey yourself. And like, yeah, I think there's like an interesting question of like whether you, if you're like that, whether you like are happy with the arc he goes on. But
yeah.
I thought that was so cool with like the Scarlett Johansson thing, like just having like their last conversation be part of it, where she's like, you're not capable of a relationship, you're not this, you're not that, you're crap, you're vile, you wank everywhere, like we've all been. We've all been there. Like her having that conversation, and he's going like, "No, I am capable of a relationship. Like I lied to you, but I've come to terms with this thing, and I realized that was wrong." And, and she's like, "I don't want to hear it." Yeah, and she has no recognition of the fact that she's just as toxic.
Yeah, because all she cares about is like, oh, you're the one that's in the wrong here. I can do anything like that because I'm just like I'm hot shit.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm hot.
And it's like she thinks that her looks are the most important thing to get her from A to B without any repercussions from anyone, and she can have any man she likes. So it's just as like, well, he's criticizing John for being the way he is, but he's just a man kind of self-obsessed in almost exactly the same way.
And the funny thing is, she's going to be looking around for this perfect man, but sadly, she's looking for a guy who never wanks. And it's like, sorry,
he's a Ken doll. That's all he is.
Yeah.
Oh, a Kendall. I thought you said a Kindle.
A Kindle. Yeah, he might. Just
he's got so many titles.
Yeah, no, I think that is somewhere where this film would have benefited from being like a little bit longer and like going into Barbara a little bit more.
Because
I think if you explored Barbara as a character a bit more and showed more of what makes her how she is,
Barbara.
I think she would have been a bit more redeemable and a bit more.
Fuck off.
Well, because at the moment she's quite flat, right? And it's just like she has kind of like this perfect idea of like what she wants her relationship to be. Like she's essentially the mirror image of John, right? And rather than sort of being addicted to porn, she's like really into status and like him getting himself a better job so that it reflects better on her and all of that kind of thing. I would have liked to have seen why she was like that in the way that we see why John is how he is, rather than it just being the case.
Yeah, that would have been quite a good scene. Like after, maybe they could have gone on another date, and then she meets her family. You get to see her family and her ex-boyfriend or something.
I think you do see like little. I think there is like a little scene where you see her family, and they're at this big pink Barbie house kind of thing, and she's got like a Titanic poster on the wall.
Oh,
and it's just like. I think I do agree. Like she could have used more fleshing out, but I do think her not being that is sort of a reflection of like what society's just kind of like she like it's just so common for people to have like this idealized version of someone in their head.
Mm.
And I think the fact that you don't necessarily go into there's not a lot to tell because she's probably never thought about it. She just watched so many romance films, and she's gone, oh, about time. That's so romantic. He did, and just like, but she's not like thought about any of it, or like why it's creepy. God, John's coming up a lot with this one, isn't he? All these mediocre John films. Sorry,
mediocre.
Dan, do you want to?
No.
Do you want to get involved? Do you want to throw your hat in the ring?
It was something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when we watched it originally, I was a bit like, it kind of didn't really. Yeah, but watching it again, I was like, yeah, it just.
Can we use our adjectives, please?
I didn't really like any of the characters, and then his redemption arc, sure, but majority of the film you've hated him, and then you're like, oh, he changed, and then you're like, oh, and the film ends. Yeah, oh, okay. But yeah, like just all the characters, I just didn't like. Yeah. Especially Scarlett Johansson. I don't know.
You're not like supposed to like him, really.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, just hating them characters. Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. That's basically what my score's.
Just right down in the middle.
Yep, I wouldn't watch it again. Yeah, pretty much.
It
was quite. I can agree with Emmanuel with it's quite jarring when it just keeps doing like flashes of like the different videos. Just like, yeah, we get it. We get it. Okay. Yeah, we get and it just keeps going on. Oh, fucking hell. We understand the premise of the film.
I feel
hammering it down our throat.
I feel like if you only saw him wanking like once in the whole film, I don't know if that would have like conveyed that he has an addiction.
No,
Yeah.
I mean like the fact that you keep seeing the videos. I feel like if they just kind of kept doing either the start, like the Apple startup, or like a theme tune to a website, and then they kept that reoccurred, and then you go, okay, yeah, he's doing that, instead of just going, just
Yeah.
yeah.
I must have missed that clip where I saw someone go.
It's the R-rated cut.
I wanted to add what Ben said.
Mm.
I agree with like a lot you said. One thing I was going to say was that the mom wasn't a doormat.
Yeah.
She was very similar to Barbara.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. In an old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
in our era.
Or they both are archetypes of that classic. Huh?
Are you going to get married and you're going to have children?
You
And
have
it's
to
going
have
to be
kids by
wonderful.
25 kind of thing. Yeah.
Who's that kind of new traditionalist of that New Jersey accent with probably some kind of Italian background, maybe.
God,
Yeah, oh my God.
I can't lie.
Well,
It
that was
really-
quite
Probably.
interesting.
They're so Italian American. They're like the most Italian American. I was so expecting the dad to go, hey, you know, I'm watching the game. Forget about it. That's
I'm
how I
walking
totally
here.
expected it. That's like from an American Italians. Sorry. I was just getting interrupted because I've got like 5-10 minutes just to spare. I'll just quickly do my intro. I feel
Sure.
this film, it's obviously about his addictions and his stuff, right? But it's mainly because he puts females on like a pedestal, and he's got like in his head that he's got like it's gotta be this way. And like even when he gets with a girl from like the club, he's like, yeah, we gotta do this thing. But obviously these things don't happen because this is obviously just from a porno. I want these things to happen, they just don't. And because he puts his expectations so high, it's like even when he does finally sleep with Barbara, he's like, I'm gonna go jerk it. And it's like, oh yeah, admittedly, he got caught the first time. Then afterwards, she opened up the laptop. I just like, you watched porn 28 times, 28 different times just today. And which I think, actually, to answer Alex's question about passwords again, it's mainly because I think he is a bit of an idiot, because as we discovered, it's like, you know, porn's not real, right? And he's like, of course it is. What are you talking about? I was like, all right, you're not just a bit douchey. You're a bit of you're fucking stupid. That's
Naive.
So I guess like if he forgets to put a password on his laptop, you kind of go, all right, yeah, because he is literally just stupid. But the expectations and stuff for the characters, not just for John Doe, it's also for Barbara, because of what was the okay. I don't remember what's the name of the movie, but I just remember it's Channing Tatum and Hathaway, and I was like, why are they here? I did not fully expect them to be there. And I was like, did they just did how much did they get paid to do like 10 minutes of acting? It was just like weird.
That was a really funny, hilarious cameo. I think they just did it for the lols.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Channing
I mean-
Tatum is like a good friend of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right?
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's
The people in this film are in this film because they're good friends with him. I just helped first feature film he's directed. Everything else he's directed have been shorts. And also, sorry, Rob, I didn't realize he directed the special with Logic, which is really cool.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, anyone who does Logic, great rapper, basically. I'll leave it to that.
Have you seen his new video? Just as a side, Emmanuel.
No, I haven't seen. I haven't heard anything since the last album where he did the track with Eminem. That album.
Do you know what? I don't think much of the song, but the video is based on Clerks, and it really made me want to pick it.
Interesting. Cool.
But yeah. Alec has gone from looking betrayed to looking despondent.
Sorry, I'm just going through Pornhub videos actually, just like can't.
Wait, what,
None
for
of this.
evidence or?
No, I'm just
yeah,
giving up. I'm just like time to have like a quick one. Just
Yeah, that reminds me. I was like going on IMDb just like to see because who's Esther? What's the name of the actress again?
Julianne Moore
Yeah. Okay. Have you
or
guys
Skeletor.
watched? Fucking you. In any case, I was watching. When I first saw her, I was thinking, isn't that Tammy from Parks and Recreation? I was like, oh wait, no, that's not right. That's another slightly older red-headed lady. And I was like, oh wait, no, that's my bad. That's my beat.
You just did a Don John yourself there. That's another woman with all the same characteristics such as hair.
No, because like I saw her first because like no, she was crying and she was like covering her face. I was like, wait, why does she cut? She kind of looks like that, like who I thought it was, but it's like, oh no, that's yeah. Well, look at someone else, right? But it's like but like I don't know how to explain myself. It's just like seeing the characters, right? And seeing all the actors. I was just going through IMDb and I realized why like there's a lot of actresses who have like no titles to their name, like who the character is. I don't. Oh, it's the actresses from the videos within the movie. I was like, oh wow, they credited all of the actresses and some of the actors in the movie. I was like, right, I did not expect that. I guess that's
nice.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's nice of them. I was like, wasn't expecting that. I guess there's like save link. Okay, copy paste. Okay. Yeah,
You need to talk to Pat if that's what you're after, because apparently he recognised some of it.
Damn it. Okay. But actually, there's one thing I realised though. What the age rating for this is 18, right?
Humphrey's face is a fucking picture for that. Sorry.
What do you say, sir?
Also, the age rating for this is like 18, right? I'm
It's
surprised.
It is at 18. I think
No, it is
it's much
18,
ranking.
I'm surprised it didn't get like that you didn't get like the adults only or X rated because it's got quite it's quite a lot.
You don't see anything through full front or anything like that, or it's just
the worst
don't
you
think
see
it's
is
that
like
bad.
a solid tissue.
yeah.
Oh hey, no, solid patch on the jeans.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is arguably worse than a tissue.
Oh,
I like the bit when he gets the jeans and he like swings around and he throws them on the floor and you just hear a shattering sound. And it's just like How you doing there? Hum?
Ranking.
I'm just thinking that.
Yeah, you do keep turning your camera off. It is very suspect.
When I pull my trousers up and they just like a sheet.
I see you have the culprit glove.
Culprit glove. Yeah.
Ugh.
Ew, why would you? No. Oh, Alec, why?
I don't know.
That'd be horrible.
So favourite scenes this week is going to be a fun one.
Well, I
What's your
don't really
favourite
have
one?
one. I think it's probably when he punches the glass.
Of that car. And he
Yeah,
just
he
messes
just
the car up.
punches it from nowhere, and you're like, what?
It's because he's got really strong wrists. He was born for that moment.
I'm surprised he ain't got like the meme where he's got like a really, really jacked arm and a really skinny arm.
So did you not enjoy it more than the first time you watched it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I was expecting just a straight nah.
Probably not. I don't know. I think I kind of like he's the end of it. Okay, I understand that a bit. Like, okay, he's redeemed himself, but yeah. Yeah, he didn't really do much for me.
Because the reason I picked this on like Valentine's Day is like this film helped me kind of like recontextualize. So I'm glad Ed doesn't watch this. It helped me sort of like recontextualize like I don't know some elements of our relationship. Let's leave it at that. But like I found this as like I don't know. I kind of just watched this off the cuff the other. Oh no! I kind of just watched this off the cuff the other day, and like I wasn't really like thinking. I was just like, I remember. Oh yeah, Dungeon. I like that one. And then like just some of the things it was saying, I was just kind of like with like because it'd been a while. I think I first saw it in Union, so like lines that I'd heard before kind of came back in sort of like with more. Like reframed in different contexts, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I need to." I guess that is the difference between sort of like selfish love and like you're like connecting with someone, and like you are losing yourself in someone, and it's not this thing that you need to like. I don't know.
It's difficult to talk about this stuff.
I want to keep it PG.
No, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Yeah,
I just meant about
sponsored.
introspective stuff.
I think it's look. You get what I'm laying down. Like it's recontextualized how I approach certain aspects, and it's sort of like, yeah, this not. It's you can't come at like a relationship where it's all charged toward you. And when Eb asked me why I liked it so much, I was saying about like it's the way these characters are charged that I find like the most interesting. Where you have
Just had a flashback to Ex Machina there. Sorry.
Oh no! How does she charge herself? Where Scarlett Johansson's coming in very selfish, and Don John is also very selfish, so he doesn't pick up on it right away. And it's only when she starts encroaching on, he'll let the porn go because he's kind of ashamed of that anyway. But when she starts going on about his his flat and his job and everything else, that's when he's like, "Fuck! There's something wrong here. Like there's some aspect of this that isn't quite what it was cracked up to be." And then you have Julianne Moore, and she's charged in like a different way, where like she had everything, and now it's all just been torn away from her for like no fucking reason whatsoever. And like she's just hurting, and she's trying to find like some connection. And then when they basically just come back and reconnect, he's still kind of coming at it sort of selfishly. Like even when they have sex in her car, and she's like, "Let me ask you a couple of questions about this, by the way, while we're here. Like, I'm a very satisfied customer, but like, you know, let's talk about you." And then she reframes it for him, and it's like, I don't know, just the motivations of the characters are something that I find really interesting here. Because what he wants is a relationship. What he wants is like a trophy, like his dad had a trophy, and because his dad wanted a trophy, that's why they have an unhappy marriage. and that's why his daughter don't talk to him or say anything at all, because what's the point of fucking talking? You like, yeah, he I lost the thread there, but the way it's charged, I think, it's just something I find like interesting about it, because he can't, like I said, he has like an idea of what he wants, and Julianne Moore is like, she's completely opposite to everything he wants. She's not someone he can show off. She's not someone he can boast about. She's not someone who's going to be like a life partner, like in an official sense. It's not a conventional relationship, but she's exactly what he needs by the time he has this big crisis after the breakup. And it's like, I just find that so fucking interesting. I see Emmanuel grinning at Camilla here, just like, I see you two.
It's
You're just like, what a fucking idiot. I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say this out loud. I was just like, yeah.
I wish I'd laughed then. Say again?
Oh, I wasn't. It was just something I wasn't planning on saying out loud. I was just like, yeah, the woman to fix him. But yeah, ignore that.
There's actually a question I was actually thought about right now. It's just like, if he's got it if he's got it such in his head that he needs to have this sort of like relationship doing this sort of thing, right? Why did he not become a porn actor? It's kind of like, if he loves it so much, he could have like got into the industry, I think, and he could have solved his problems that way. And it was just like, yeah, I love my work. And if you do what you love, you don't need to work a day in your life. And it's just like, yeah, he could have went with a much more positive mindset. You know, I don't know. I feel like he could have like.
You've already done a John, and now you're doing a Barbara by having a go at his aspirations in life.
I'm not having a go at his aspirations. I'm saying, why doesn't he do it? It's like, he could have done it. It's like, he's still like, at the beginning, he was in his head that, yeah, we can do all the stuff that what?
Is this a genuine question? Well, like,
no, I mean, no, not really. It's kind of the things of like, I mean, he could have done this instead, you know, but I guess it doesn't work that way.
Because there's quite a wide gulf between I like porn and I'm going to be a porn actor.
I mean, like he has it in his head about, he thinks sex is all in his, like, he thinks real sex is like porno sex, and it's and like when he starts in his head, he's like, yeah, we're gonna do it this way and that way, but it's just like, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't like pan out that way for him. That's why he goes back to the porn. So it's like, all right, yeah, he needs. I'm surprised he didn't go like past that level of addiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think even ultimately it wouldn't like help him. Like, he probably, if he did do it, he'll be back to square one. Is that, oh, it doesn't feel any different. It's not as good as what I have when I'm in my bedroom on my own. It'll still ultimately not do anything.
But it'd be an interesting character arc.
It'd be an interesting little scene, yeah, certainly.
Like, he's porn addict to porn star to disillusioned about everything.
And then he goes back to where he was.
And then he becomes the Monkey King.
Oh. Huh?
You heard him.
I said then he becomes the Monkey King.
No. So I'll tell you who is the Monkey King. There is a story about a person who was like this, actually.
A porn star that was the Monkey King. What?
Well, no, it's a guy. This is a story from. This is showing my degeneracy. But there was a guy from Japan who was a much, like, let's say, older bloke, and he gets embarrassed because he goes to buy his porn and watches porn, but he gets embarrassed because like the person who's like serving him is like a younger person, and he's like, oh man, this Gramps is like still jerking it, right? So essentially, he went and found like the director for like the pornos and like bought it directly from them. But the director was like, "You're this old and you still can like jerk it. Would you like a job? Would you like to be a star?" And there's a thing where it's like, all right, yeah, he's actually supposed to be quite a famous Japanese porn actor, and it's because he's just an old man who's just like, we went from watching porn to doing porn, and it's just like, that's a very weird transition in your life. So I mean, you should be retired by now, but like, just new job aspects, you know. That's just like life of bands.
I feel like you've always got a story about a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Just whatever the conversation goes into, whether it's like a guy who dresses as a dog or
Yeah, and this
Well,
time
I mean-
he was pixelated.
To be fair,
I mean,
I think God damn it.
yeah, Ben, you just showed your degeneracy as well. Okay, cool.
And
There's
just
no end of stories where you go like something perverted. It's like, did you hear about that Japanese guy? So
it's the Florida man.
sorry, I just caught up with that. Yeah, it's like Florida man. Oy.
Yeah. Continue, Simon.
Oh no, that was it. I was just like, I'm half working, half like chatting.
Half fapping, half chatting. Okay.
Well, I am creaming a lot of stuff, so kind of.
God damn it.
Yeah, we know who's fapping right now, and he's not on the call.
Pat.
I think I said John. I was like, he hasn't got the energy to do that anymore.
Gaming is life.
Hang long one. Should we do favourite scenes?
Yeah,
Humphrey, why don't we start?
I said where he punches the window.
That was that tour de force of writing.
Just because it comes out of nowhere. And you're like, what the fuck?
That was that. I saw that and I immediately thought, I get why Alec relates to this man. His road rage and his frustration with other drivers.
I genuinely do drive like that. Simon doesn't know because he was unconscious most of the trip, but that is basically how I drive. Go on, Rob.
Maybe you need some therapy.
He does.
He needs therapy. He needs therapy about as much as I do.
That boy needs therapy.
I get that reference. Go on, you had a favourite scene.
Yeah, I think mine is I think it's the last confessional. Because like obviously the whole way through he's kind of like going in the booth and being like, oh, I've been a shithead this week, and then the priest is just like, yeah man, 10 Hail Marys, you'll be good. And then the one at the end where he's like asking if he can sort of like get some working out on it, and he's trying to get at how the priest got to that number. And the priest is just like not even willing to entertain it. I really like that because it's like, I don't think it's a film that's like overly critical about it, but I really like the build up to sort of showing like how meaningless that whole thing is. Yeah, I really like it. Just like the way it's acted as well, like the sort of the kind of like the confusion on his face where he's like, oh, I thought it'd be like a little less this time. And the priest is just like you can always see the priest in your mind's eye just being like, I don't care, man. It's 10, go away. I really like that.
I think that's something that like I think ties into like the wider point of this is what society wants you to do. And just because that's such a big deal for him, and he's like, I haven't wanked like whatsoever. I lied about it before, but I genuinely haven't now. And I'm now like with this lady, also out of wedlock, but like, you know, it's such a big deal for him, and for it to just be the same thing, it's just like, damn, like that's such a big like criticism of sort of like society in that.
Mm.
And this is something else. Like, you guys don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is something like I've kind of had to come to terms with, like with me and Ed being in like an open relationship and stuff. Because like there was this big question of like when we started out, she said, "I don't want kids," and I said, "Okay." And she went, "Do you want to get married?" I said, "Yes, I want to get married." And she said, "Okay, well, we'll get married, but we're not having kids." And I said, "Okay, like that's fine." And she was like, "But I know you want kids," and I was just like, "I don't know how much I want kids or how much I'm supposed to want kids." And it's like, it's just that kind of thing where like you have the societal thing of like, when am I, you know, when are we getting grandchildren? When are we getting, and like, you know, that's sort of like the happy life. You get married and you have kids and you settle down and shit. And it's sort of, is that what you want? Like, really want? Or is that what you're supposed to want? And I think that's why I like this film so much. Because he doesn't know what he wants. Society knows what it wants him to do.
Mm.
But he comes away from that into something more unconventional that his family won't understand because they're fucking idiots. But yeah, I just thought that was such a cool. I think this is why I'm really against the idea that this is like quite boilerplate and tropey. Like there's a lot of little nuances in there. But
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm glad you said that
about
Emmanuel.
Blur.
Not hear me. I was just saying that I would say, yeah, that's fair enough. Again, it does both. It does some good things while also using like certain archetypes for a reason. I think he's trying to turn like maybe one or two archetypes in their heads or do something slightly different with it than we usually would see, which is.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing, like tropes aren't bad in of themselves. Like, it's how you present them and how you can make wider points off of them.
Yeah, how you use the tropes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen Requiem for a Dream, so I guess it's shitter than that, but like that's okay. Favorite scenes. More favorite scenes, that's good.
I think mine is
a bit in Requiem for a Dream where
but yeah, I think mine is it's the end of the film when he or the kind of ending sequence when he's changed basically, or he's changing and realizing like some important life lessons. Like, yes, that is very important. That's very good. Yeah, that's it's just like, okay, this was all right. Like, if like even though my actual enjoyment was like 0, this actually genuinely raised it up to a 1.
That much.
So yeah.
I think that's the bit like seeing how his behavior's changed, and like it's something as simple as he goes out on a night out, and where early in the film, his little mate is like having a go at him, or like they're kind of like having a bit of a rivalry, and then John just chucks his drink over him. He's just like, "Fuck you, Johnny." Whereas in like the last scene they have together, he's propping him up. And he's going like, "Hey, you got with a ugly girl." Hey. they're having a laugh about it, and but he's actually like encouraging him and stuff, rather than it being like a competition where he's like, yeah, trying to just outdo him. Like, just, this is the things being differently charged bit again. But Benjamin, what you got?
The ending. No.
Everybody likes the fucking ending.
No, I'm joking. The best part was like you first, what's her name? Barbara, ScarJo's character. When they first go on the date and they go to the cinema and they see all those cliche romantic comedies, and you see all the posters and all with Anne Hathaway and Channing Tatum and all that. And I thought that was so clever. And it was the first point where she's like, first point you realize, oh, she's just infatuated with all this stuff like he is with his porn, like I mentioned before. And she's just sitting there like in awe with everything that's going on. And he's just like, what the fuck? I don't understand any of this. It's bullshit. It's not real.
Mediocre.
It's mediocre, but it's so it's so clever in the sense that actually there's the parallel, and she can't see it in herself, but he can't see it in himself at the same time with his problem. So it was really clever, and it was probably the funniest scene just to see those actors kind of like come in and play themselves in a very tongue-in-cheek way. And see Anne Hathaway and Channing Tatum just being like, oh, let's just be the most cliche we can, and kind of raises the point a bit harder because you just know it's just all make believe and just silly. And she's just like, oh no, but it's so much about it. So means so much to me and all that. And so it was so fun for that bit. Yeah.
All right, Humphrey, bloody hell. Okay, we'll give Simon a bit more time. But
sorry, you called me?
Oh no.
I knew that was going to happen. Every time you say Simon, it's like shining the bat signal.
Oh well, I mean, it's not. No, I've got my earpods on. That's why I was like half listening, half working.
If you've got 5 minutes, I was going to say, do you want to do your favourite scene? But don't worry if you're busy. I can waffle on for a bit. Let me waffle on for a bit.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
It's the scene where John and Barbara are like, they've been dating for a while and they're going shopping, and like you see John realize, oh wait, there are cracks in their relationship and they're like red flags. Is when he was talking about a Swiffer pad, right? And it's like, what? You don't know what a Swiffer pad is? It's just to clean your house. So it's like, and she's like, oh, you're not cleaning your house. I was like, what? You're a grown-ass man. You don't have to clean your house. I have this lady. Okay, she's great. And it's like, wait, what? You're hating on a guy because he cleans his house and takes care of his house? That doesn't make sense. It's like, and it starts, and like the ball starts, like everything starts unraveling because you realize, oh, it's actually no, it's more precisely that he realizes, wow, Barbara can be Barbara's kind of a shitty person herself, because like the way that she talks about like a cleaning lady, it sounds like she treats her like a second-class citizen, and it was just like, what are you trying to imply here? It's like, is he like too good to clean his own house, or because like he is a guy and he doesn't need to clean his own house? It's kind of like when we were earlier talking about it being a misogynistic film. It's like, but you're playing into the misogyny yourself as a female character. It's kind of like, oh wow, that's just like, it's kind of weird just like watching it and like seeing that scene. I was like, oh, that's like, oh, talk about red flags in the relationship, right? It's like, Jesus. But we can really see like from watching that and seeing all that, is just like, oh right, that's when things start breaking down and you go, oh wait, this is kind of like a character development for John's character. So it's like, oh, that was interesting to see it like that. But
yeah, that's a really good choice actually, because like, I know I said that I would have liked for more kind of like more sort of like background on why Barbara is how she is, but I think that's a really like effective way of showing that there's a difference in sort of like social class between them. Yeah, that's a really good choice.
And now for my favorite one.
I wish it was built up more, so there was more kind of context. Like, I was kind of looking forward to, or I was interested in seeing her family like we see in his family, but we never really got that. We just got a brief kind of moment of a random kid in the family who is related somehow, and the mom, and that's it. Like, no kind of, like, it would have been cool to see like some warning signs before, but he doesn't really pay attention. And then she does this in the thought, and of course we saw it coming, but he didn't until that moment, and then it clicks. It's just like, oh, that could have been cool, like, but.
Well, you know what? I'll agree with that. Yeah. I think that party could have been expanded out a little bit more. Yeah, that would have helped. Right. Well, I better do my favorite scenes. So,
No.
Fuck you.
I just remembered something.
Okay.
It was quite cool, actually. Probably the coolest bit was when she catches him and you see the camera shake, and it's basically the view of the webcam of the laptop, and when he basically moves the laptop, you see her. I was like, oh, that's actually quite a cool camera kind of trick.
I also liked how the camera starts moving. It starts becoming like a shaky cam kind of thing during his first sex scene with Julianne Moore. Like the first time they actually get like kind of personal, and they're in like her living room or whatever. He's just had like a bath at her place, but like, yeah, but it becomes kind of it's all like handheld camera, and I was just like, oh yeah, because we had so many fixed angles and we had so much of a stationary camera. So to have this be like kind of a thing of like, oh, this is a change. I feel like just as like an artistic Jesus.
What was that? What the hell was that?
Rob just moved the table.
I did wonder why the picture on the wall there just went like. I think but I think having the camera sort of lose a bit of composure there, not unlike right now. I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed the bit where she makes him come in his shorts. I thought that was hilarious. But, when she's like rubbing his butt, well, she's rubbing her butt against, rubbing his butt against his butt. I'm gonna rub your butt against your own cock. You're gonna love it. When she's trying to get him to go to school and she's rubbing her butt on his cock, and yeah. I thought that was really, really funny. Eb thought that was really, really funny. God damn it. God. Right.
Huh?
I think I also enjoyed that this was something actually because when Eb saw this, I think she saw this about the same sort of year you guys did, and she hated it too. Well, I showed her it this week, and like, it's just after he's had sex with Julianne Moore, and he's just the next shot is him in the car, and he's just singing along to Good Vibrations, and Ed was just sitting there going like, "Oh, I'm so happy for him." It's just like, "Oh." Yeah, I like the Swiffer pad scene. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had another one. Oh, obviously, I'm upset that I'm the first person to pick a Brie Larson film.
Favorite actress.
You really?
Yeah, Alec loves Brie Larson.
No, Alec does not like Brie Larson. But she's really.
that like she has one line in the like I said one line.
Yeah.
It's an ideal Brie Larson performance.
Yeah, I think as well as Manuel's going to mention, I think that's another one of my favorite scenes is where she finally speaks and he's kind of like, well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you
What
saying
the
that because she's kind of like makes her parents like stop and think a bit and realize what they're talking about is a load of crap. so her point after being silent for the whole movie is quite more underlined and highlighted because of that scene. So I did like it. What she said.
Everything with his family, to be honest, like they're all like really horrible scenes. But like I think that dynamic just says so much on like why she doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're surrounded by those parents, like fuck me, why would you say anything? And yeah, just that scene I mentioned right at the beginning, just when he's talking about when him and his mum met, and what are you fucking laughing at, you big egg?
Sorry. Carry on.
Rob found a porn and he's
Rob found a porn and he's going to go and do one.
yes, he's going to FAP.
Just when he's saying like, I saw her and I said that's mine, and I was just like, that I think is the most horrible scene, and like, if there's one scene that's going to stick with me forever, it's going to be that, because I think that's when the film is at its most like critical of like that viewpoint. And it's just like if you come away from this film going like it's misogynist and crap, that's the scene I'd point to go like that doesn't like this film doesn't agree with that. Like, yeah. Are you all right? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
What were you laughing at?
I was still laughing about the thing about him rubbing his butt against his butt.
Gotcha. Okay, well, everyone looks like they're all pretty traumatized from this one. Any parting thoughts for Don John?
It was interesting.
Cool.
It certainly was.
All right, Humphrey.
Rob, what's your pick?
Bro, anything else to say about that?
Oh wait, before I do it, has everyone put their nomination in?
Oh shit! Yeah, we need to do that. Emmanuel, what are you nominating this round? You have Ghost in the Shell, After Sun, The Thing, RRR, Don John, if you like, if you want to, and The Usual Suspect.
Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, sorry, Patrick. Seems like the Monkey King wasn't enough this time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that as well. Give mine to Ghost in the Shell as well.
Oh,
fuck's sake!
Boy.
When we know certain things now.
Yeah.
That is very, very true. Humphrey, which one? What are you picking?
Ghost in the Shell.
You can't pick your own film.
No, full fit.
Oh, full fit.
No,
you don't want to pick.
Okay.
Oh.
What was the films again? Sorry? I'm totally listening.
Right, well, you've got After Sun, The Thing,
The Thing.
Phoenix.
Oh, The Thing. Sorry. The Thing. It's got to be The Thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Hands down. I was going to pick the film, but someone picked it. So.
yes. After 2 years.
I actually can't remember it now.
You can't remember The Thing?
There was a thing.
You bastard.
It's the one.
It's oh yeah.
With the man with the spider head.
Your wife, Thingy.
Push. It was my mind probably graphically wanted to forget it. Not yeah, but it was actually good. Yeah,
Fantastic film.
yeah, it's a good film. I just think, yeah, I think my brain doesn't want to remember the visuals. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, it was they were well. I say well. They achieved the creepy kind of feeling of the aliens in it. They did well. Very
well.
Not want to for them. That's all.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Right, I'm just updating that then. Anyway, since everybody hated this so much, Rob, would you like to announce your film?
Yeah. So I'm being a bit awkward for the second pick in a row. But not as awkward as I could have been, to be fair. So it's a film by Masaki Kobayashi, and it's not the one that Emmanuel won't let me pick because it's 10 hours long. But
wait, I won't let you pick. What?
Yeah, do you remember when we were talking about me picking The Human Condition?
Not really.
Oh, well, it's 10 hours long and you seemed upset by it. so I'm not picking that one, but it is the same director. But yeah, so it basically what I was thinking is that I wanted to pick a film by him, and I also think it's been too long since we last had a samurai film. So the film I'm picking is Harakiri. This is where it's awkward though, right? So where After Sun was only streaming on Mubi, Harakiri isn't streaming anywhere. So I've got to send you all a link to obtain it by legitimate means. But yeah, so it's the same writer as Seven Samurai, and I think it's really good.
Man, I mean the subject matter already.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a really cool film. I hope you guys do too.
Oh. Well, thanks. Hopefully, yes.
Okay, I'll post like a link and stuff in the group.
Yeah, definitely better than 10 hours. I agree.
I'm glad you retrospectively agree with yourself.
Imagine my reaction.
Yeah, because like the Human Condition, like to be fair, it is split into a trilogy, but it's only split into a trilogy because nobody's going to go to the theater and watch a 10-hour film.
The double bill.
Well, because I don't know. I'm kind of feeling stubborn that it's one film.
You say that, but technically it's two.
Well, technically it's free, to be fair, but like it's. But yeah, the only reason it's split up is so that they could sell tickets for it.
But we could do that's a double bill.
Save it until John comes back to Film Club, but then. No.
But to be fair, if Film Club goes on for long enough, then by the time we're pensioners, then time's going to be going quicker anyway. So.
Yeah, when we're 80, we'll be like, "Oh, Human Condition." That's so
It's right. You just got to tell John there's Digimon in it.
Oh yeah,
and then he'll watch it.
I think after like 4 hours of no Digimon, he's going to be going, "Oh, I'm not sure he was telling the truth."
I think this might be a bit mediocre.
This is not quite Go to Shaman, is it?
Right, who's fucking lowered their score for this?
Oh, I put mine down a little bit.
It's you.
Oh,
I still like it.
You prick.
There are things that I've changed.
Why?
Well, just what I said about Barbara.
Barbara.
It already had quite a low score.
Fuck you.
I'm not saying I agree with the low score, but like I'm just saying I didn't do that.
You
one
just
down.
contributed to it.
I'm on your side mostly.
Well, yeah. Don't know what it's worth. Is harakiri one word or hyphenate?
It's one word. So Takashi Mike remade it, and he put a hyphen in. That's not the one to watch.
Gotcha. So, sorry, you're gonna
Yeah, I'll post it all now.
you'll send us a message in a bottle.
An SOS to the world.
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh man, Pat's the only one that hasn't had a nomination point this round.
He's also the only one who picked a film that idolised a Nazi, to be fair.
I
I'm
mean,
not
he
saying it
didn't
was on
pick that
purpose.
knowing that, right? Yeah, so
Yeah, it
He
was
did
obviously
do it.
not on purpose, but and understandably not on purpose. I can see how you'd miss it.
Even if he watched it before, he wouldn't have necessarily.
Nah, yeah. There's no way that you'd know
Why-
without reading
Why
it
did he
somewhere.
pick it anyway?
He wanted to see it for that being one of the biggest films of last year that he hadn't seen more than anything else, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it was such a big box office.
I just
behemoth.
I thought it was really bizarre that Pat would want to watch this film.
Pat loves like Indian culture, though.
It was.
It's because there's lots of shitting.
Like, over the top action, yes.
But yeah, that was great. Like it sucks about the end part, but yeah.
Damn.
That's basically been the reaction online, to be honest. Is like everyone's kind of like slowly hearing about it and going like, "Oh no, we just thought it was a nice film about like anti-colonialism."
Yeah.
Well, it's what you say. RR is Pat's version of John's The Greatest Showman. Then
For me personally, yeah,
it
but
is.
I can see why people would disagree.
Alec is properly looking like, oh, actually, it might not be you. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't think it's like. Sorry,
Oh, go. Sorry.
I don't know. It's a toss-up. Like the RRR is not about the Nazi.
That is true. That is true.
But
It just
equally,
yeah.
Greatest Showman really lent into P.T. Barnum being a happy chappy who just wanted the world to laugh. It's like,
Oh, Barnum.
that fucking sucks. I hate that.
Right, I'm gonna go.
In a bit, man.
Bye.
Me too,
Bye,
hopefully.
Hum. No more.
Will
You've
I
gone.
be tomorrow next week? Should
I don't
be.
know. Statistically, not.
I don't know. Maybe.
What are you doing next week?
I don't know. Something
in-
possibly.
Being Kent.
Don't know. But yeah,
You poor
you should see